Alright. So, yeah, this is a first official live stream. No one's really on right now. That's fine. One or two people might come on. But, this is supposed to be my last video of, Kaiju Council on this channel. Now, I do have an official channel now. It is literally named Kaiju Council. I'm not sure if you'll be able to find it. It'd probably be really difficult to find, because it doesn't really have anyone there. But in this video, I'm really just talking about Rodan. And I see he's back. All right, who's all here? Who's all here? I'm kind of curious. I'm guessing it's just the two from before. But, I have a bit of a cold. Today I'm discussing the origin of Rodan in Godzilla, King of the Monsters, the new movie that's coming up. Now, I know I haven't posted it in a week. That's because I've had graduation and I was actually traveling. But, it shouldn't be as difficult now to do stuff, and, it's fine. So, yeah. Well, when I discuss this, Rodan is a really interesting monster to me for the fact of his origin's difficult for me. He started out as a monster in the side of a mountain, him and its sibling or mate, and was awakened. I don't think he's going to have any mystical type of role. I don't think he gets that. I don't think he gets some mystical, ancient creature, yes, but some godly being, not really. Rodan has a really bland backstory. No one's really went into depth about Rodan. The Fire Rodan, the story with Fire Rodan was pretty good. I don't have a problem with that. But I feel like Rodan, for being a monster that always appears, really gets a lot of slack. He doesn't really have a good story or a good in-depth thing, which is it kind of sucks. But yeah, I don't feel like his origin will really be too amazing. Not Mothra and Ghidorah obviously always have this amazing. They're flashy, they're flaunty. It's like they're characters. If you think of some of the flashiest characters in the Godzilla universe, Mothra and Ghidorah are pretty high up there. For good reason too, because Mothra with her beautiful wings and stuff like that, and Ghidorah, this golden dragon, this sense of fear, that pride, that's always going to be there. But with Rodan, he's almost like a side character that keeps coming around. He reminds me a lot of Anguirus, when Anguirus was a big thing in the 60s and 70s. He's there, but they don't really build anything up for him. Which is really sad, to be honest, because, again, I really love Anguirus, and I wish they would have brought him back. I mean, I get what they're doing. They're bringing back the original monsters that were in the original first melee Godzilla fight ever, which was Ghidorah the three-headed monster. That's okay. But I hope that whatever the MonsterVerse takes us, I hope we get more Godzillas after Godzilla vs. King Kong. I hope we get more. I'm hoping Anguirus returns. I hope Toho... another thing is that Toho, as most of you know, or should know, Toho's not very nice with their copyright grounds. To really anyone. There was apparently a big fan film that was going to come out, but this fan film wasn't going to make any money or go anywhere. And they basically said they had to control its budget, everything. Godzilla couldn't even be in the title, and they couldn't even, put trailers up. I'm not sure really how this is going to go. I'm not sure what's going to happen with it. I really hope that, we can start seeing more agreements. Japan's industry for giving the American and Western audiences what they want is very low. I don't think there'll ever be a time where they care about, American expressions. But besides, I don't know why I straight off path there. I guess it's because I'm live streaming and I'm not thinking about it. But, yeah, Rodan, right now, for what I'm thinking, is that Rodan is really just going to have, just going to be the guy that's there. If he has a good background, if I'd suggest one, I'd say that he was seen as a sky god, and that when he had woken, he was viewed as this god of the skies, like a dragon, from ancient civilizations, where Mothra was seen as the protector, and Ghidorah, as I've stated before, I want him to be from space. I think that his origin really lies there. The only one that pulled off the alternate origin was the GMK Ghidorah when he was a Guardian. But we all know he won't be a Guardian in this. So, yeah, so Rodan I really do like, though. I've always liked Rodan. Fire Rodan is probably my favorite besides the original. The early 60s Rodan had a horrible design. And him and Godzilla were always fighting. Like, they were rarely ever allies. But, and they never dug into him. It's like I've stated before. When it started going more for children, they wouldn't dig into the origins of the monsters. And yeah, Big Pterodon, yeah, I know, that's what I'm getting at. It's just going to be an animal, and they're going to be done with it. But I want them to do something more. I want there to be more for this character. Because he deserves more. And yeah, that's what they're going to do, and I guess that's what I'm trying to say. But he deserves a better story. It's like Anguirus deserves a better story. We don't really get an explanation for Anguirus except in a second movie when they say he was just he was one of the creatures from the past. I'm okay with Anguirus being a dinosaur. I'm okay with Rodan being a pteranodon. But if you're gonna make these characters, you need to put down what you're doing with your script. You need to think and see if you can fit in what they are, or give them some origin. I mean, it doesn't have to be this huge, long explanation by a weird scientist guy that seems to know all the answers. But I'd like some, just mention, some obscure character finds these hieroglyphs of Rodan on the walls saying that he was a certain type of god or something, just something obscure. I'd be okay with that. It's nothing's guaranteed right now. Nothing is guaranteed. I mean, to be honest, this new film won't even be able to be compared to the old one. Like, with the amount of action we're gonna get from the monsters alone, will be 10 times what we've got from the original Godzilla movie. Now, another thing I want to get into quickly here, because I won't have much time to later, and I'm sorry, but I was curious about, do any of you guys think that they'll bring back the Muto? Like, serious, do you think any of them, do any of you guys think that Muto will make another appearance in the Godzilla verse, or is that just a dead creature in general? I'm kind of curious to know what you guys think about that. I'm not sure what to think, because I remember in Gamera, they would bring back Gaios as like a supporting character that would make an appearance. But I've been wondering if you guys think that he will actually have more of an appearance. For the Mutos again. And if so, would they be a new type, or would they be more like what they were before? I'll let you guys post an answer, or at least one of you. In the meanwhile, Rodan. Oh, I remember when the Mutos were being, or in the trailer, a lot of people thought that Rodan was in the original Godzilla movie because of the, Mutos. Muto stands for, that is their actual name. No one's really named them from what I've saw. They've been given a code name, which is kind of like what they did in GMK. They gave a code name for a random creature. But yeah, Muto is the code name. I know that, but I highly doubt that we'll ever get a full explanation of what they are. Godzilla was technically a code name too. But as we push on past that, you know, again, I kind of want to see them return again. I feel like a more action-oriented fight between them, not in the pitch darkness, would actually work really well. Um, but yeah, as I was saying before, when the male Muto was around, a lot of people in the trailers thought it was Rodan, simply because he had the wings and everything, and that would have been an interesting thought. Now, of course, it wouldn't have made much sense for Rodan to be in a film with just Godzilla, because they've never just been in a film together at all. And it wouldn't really work. Rodan is a supporting character. He builds up the tension or relationship or the friendship of all the other characters. He's like a catalyst. Like, when you have him there, he can determine the fate of something, but him being there affects something. Like, he was there to stop Ghidorah in the first movie, but he stayed and helped Godzilla in the next one, when he easily could have left, and which would have made Godzilla probably lose. It takes more than one monster to take down Ghidorah. Especially Showa Ghidorah isn't really that tough. To be honest, Showa Ghidorah cannot fight that many monsters, and we all know that Mothra wasn't really doing too hot in that battle to begin with anyways. Um, this is going to be an in general talk about just other Godzilla stuff too. Now, I'm guessing as we delve deeper, as we go deeper into the Godzilla stuff, I'm going to tell all of you now who watch this later that this is where I get into more discussion-y theory stuff that's not about what the original topic was. We've passed the original topic. This is the chat. This is the theory part. This is where I talk about my ideas and thoughts. Because I've actually been kind of interested in some stuff. Like, you guys, what was it? Showa Ghidorah. What's your, my favorite Ghidorah, like, I mean, if you see this after I post it, some of you comment, please. I like seeing your guys' comments and stuff. I really appreciate it, because, makes me, I like being in contact with the people who watch my stuff. Yeah, Showa Ghidorah, I like his design. Like, for Showa, I love his design. He is, like, I love the crest pieces, I love the dragon heads, and I think GMK captured that pretty well. I kind of really want Ghidorah to be more oriental. I feel like him being an oriental dragon is a staple. Even though he wasn't in GMK, or not GMK, even though he wasn't in the 90s one, which is where most people know him from, he has usually been a very ornate and huge beast. Kaiser Ghidorah, for example, was very ornate, just as a dark, like, it's like looking at a king, like if you labeled kings. I would label Kaiser Ghidorah as a dark dictator, a dark emperor. You'd name Showa Ghidorah as the golden, what would it be, shogun? Yeah, probably golden shogun, the golden dynasty. Call him Golden Dynasty, that's what I call him in GMK. I know that's a weird label, but that's what I'm going with. I call the 90s one, what would you label the 90s one? Now, you see, yeah, I prefer Grand King Ghidorah over Heisei Godzilla Ghidorah. And Heisei Godzilla Ghidorah, I need to give him a place, because, okay, help me out here. What would I label? Because I've got the Dynasty Ghidorah. I've got the Dark Emperor Ghidorah. What would you name the Heisei Ghidorah? Like what would you put that as? Maybe the Golden General, because he was more of a warfare type. But most Ghidorahs don't really fight. I think that's a big thing. Ghidorah is not really a fighter. He is in GMK slightly, but not really. But his main fighting is Monster X and Heisei Ghidorah. He's not really a fighter. Ghidorah's never been a fighter. He's just been bigger than everyone else. That's how he wins. And that's why he loses to more than one foe, is because he's never had major fighting experience. He's had more experience taking away the life of innocent, weaker things, which is why he's weak. he has a natural power limit. He doesn't train. I'd go with General. I get what you're saying with Knight, but I feel like General is better because I feel like it's a higher rank, and I feel like Ghidorah needs that higher rank. Now, if I was to classify any Godzilla monster as a Knight, I'd probably go with Baragon from GMK or Anguirus from what was it? 68. It was 72, I think. I can't remember. It was the one where he fought with Godzilla against Gigan. It was Godzilla versus Gigan, and he had helped protect Godzilla, and they worked as a team. So yeah, I'd go with Godzilla versus Gigan Anguirus, which is the 60s Anguirus, or I'd go with Baragon, and I mean GMK Baragon. This has gotten into a really interesting discussion. The queen, if there was a queen, it would probably be Mothra, obviously. If there was an empress, I'd say Megaguirus. Biolante would be a... Ooh. I don't know how I've strayed into this. It's because I was trying to label Ghidorah, and I've strayed way into this idea. this idea. Yeah, I don't know what Biolante would be. But, Ghidorah... I don't know. The only fighting Ghidorah that I saw that was good at fighting, good at combat, wasn't just stronger than everyone else. That's what... okay, yeah, Death Ghidorah, yeah, he was pretty strong, too. Him and, you see, Cretaceous King Ghidorah wasn't very strong either. He just preyed upon the weak and then turned into Grand King Ghidorah. It's if you notice, I'm not saying Ghidorah is a weak character. I don't think King Ghidorah has ever been a weak character. What I think is that King Ghidorah is just naturally strong. It's like if you watch Dragon Ball Z. Frieza was naturally strong, and I know half of you probably won't even understand that reference, but or not in the way I think. Frieza was really strong, but he never trained. So eventually, someone who trained hard enough, in this situation with monsters, Godzilla, eventually they overpass them. You overpass someone because you keep getting better and better where they stay the same. So when you add more and more people onto a fight, and you only have a certain set of skills, you lose. Ghidorah is not weak by any means, but he's not strong. I don't know how to phrase that better. Also, I have this weird little theory where I think Des Ghidorah and Kaiser Ghidorah are in the same family branch of Ghidorah. Like, Des Ghidorah and Kaiser Ghidorah share a lot of similar features. Freeze is back. But, Des Ghidorah, yeah, it's as I'm saying though, Des Ghidorah and Kaiser Ghidorah share a lot of features. One of them especially being that they are the only ones that walk on four legs. But they also share just a similar, I don't know, the black design is very similar too. Except with, it's like Des Ghidorah is black and red and white. Whereas Kaiser Ghidorah is this gold and black. And it's like royal and pompous. That's the difference. But I think that Des Ghidorah, really... Him and Kaiser Ghidorah are in the same family lineage. That's obvious. I actually might make a Ghidorah family tree, and if that series goes well, I'll make more family trees of monsters connecting them. Now, I get it. Heisei and Showa aren't connected. Heisei and Millennium aren't connected. Showa and Millennium aren't connected. But if I'm going to take all the kaiju and a bunch of their forms, which would quote-unquote be their siblings, and make a family tree of what I know. Ghidorah is going to be easy. Godzilla is going to be easy. There's just certain categories. I might do Gamera. Mothra should be easy. What gets tougher is the smaller monsters. Anguirus should be a little rough to do, but not terrible. It's just that some of them will be very basic because of the knowledge we're given. And at that point, there might be like a few short ones Like there might be if a bunch of them are short in the video, I might make three family tree branches in one video, one or two, or one or three, 1 to 3. So yeah, as far as I think Des Ghidorah and Kaiser Ghidorah, in an overall expanded world, if they were in the same world, I think that they'd be a related pair. Monster X on his own would probably be in his own category. And yes, you see, it would be cool. And no, just because they're not all in the same canon doesn't mean anything. It's still a fun project to do. And it will be. It will be very fun. But yeah, I think Des Ghidorah and Kaiser are related. GMK would go very well with probably, or because they're both ornate, I'd say GMK and Showa Ghidorah would be the same. You see, it's like this. Showa Ghidorah and GMK Ghidorah are probably really similar, but it's just that GMK is literally the Earth equivalent of what Showa Ghidorah would be if he was born on Earth. That's a little thing of mine too. If you put Showa Ghidorah and you raised him on Earth, I feel like he'd be more like GMK Ghidorah. I feel like the design of GMK Ghidorah was to really bring back the feel of the Showa era. Just like Baragon. Baragon was a monster that had his prime in the Showa era, the early Showa era. The Godzilla suit they used was to represent the Showa era. There's no other Millennium suit that looks anything like the original, more so than GMK. And it was supposed to bring out the feeling of 1954 Goji. Them adding in Mothra was a really good touch as well, but I felt like it was wasted because I feel like GMK is basically the prequel, like what Japan would be trying to accomplish, a modern remake of Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster, which is basically what America is doing now with Godzilla King of the Monsters. Now, I find that interesting too. They literally took the name of one of the original movies. The English version of Gojira is called Godzilla King of the Monsters. I kind of hope they use one of the older names too. Well, guys, I've been on here about long enough. It's been fun. I might do one of these another time. This was my last Kaiju Council on this channel. Now, I would not unsubscribe from this channel. All my updates for Kaiju Council will be on here because this is my update channel. So, guys, like, comment. To new people, subscribe if you want. Wolf of Dimensions signing out. See you guys.